Hey everybody, what's going on? Today I want to review the National Academy of Sports Medicine's Certified Nutrition Coach program. So what I want to talk about is, first of all, the legality of it. I want to talk about the price, how long it'll take you, who it's right for, some things I really enjoyed about the course, and maybe some alternatives for you, because honestly it's not the right fit for everybody. So I haven't really seen an in-depth review on this yet. So hopefully this will help you decide if it's right for you. And if it's not right for you, hopefully this will help you save some money. Okay, so the first things first is the legality of it. So you can't just go coaching nutrition in every state. Okay, so it is up to states to decide who can and who cannot give nutrition counseling. These states here in red, you must be a registered dietitian in order to conduct nutrition counseling. So if you live in one of these states, if you take this course, you cannot legally, just with this course alone, give nutrition counseling or nutrition advice to anybody. Okay? Now, some of these other states, they just have laws that protect, the use of names, the use of licensing. Like they say, like you just can't call yourself a dietitian, or you can't call yourself a licensed dietitian, nutritionist, whatever. That's also different from state to state. But my point is, this course, depending on where you live, may not even allow you to do what they lead you to believe you can do. So the course is just kind of sold to you as like, hey, if you're in the fitness nutrition industry, take this course, it'll supplement whatever your career path is, Well, depending on where you live, that may not be true. So they kind of go into this in the beginning of the course. They get right into it with what's the scope of practice for a nutrition coach. And it's kind of misleading in the way that they don't really tell you that you can't even do this at all in about half of the states. So I really don't like how this should be something that's expressed or shown to you before you pay for it, right? So you may end up paying for this and then realize later that you really can't do anything at all with it. So not to say that you shouldn't do it, because this course still counts a lot of places for continuing education. If you're trying to apply for a dietetic internship, this may set you apart from your peers, and landing you that internship. So it's still, it still can be useful, even if you do live in one of those states that's red, But you just got to know right off the bat that it's not everything that they are telling you in the beginning that it is. Okay, so speaking of price, $629. This is July 2020. They have it on their website for $629. Okay, so price, that's relative. Maybe that's a lot to you, maybe it's not. That's not for me to say. I think that all kind of depends too. What are you using it for? What do you need it for? What are your hopes, out of the program? It just kind of depends. So $629, that's what it costs. Okay, now time to completion. I can't remember what they estimate. I think they estimate 6 or 8 to 12 weeks, something like that. 6 to 12, I think, is what it was. Now, it took me 4 weeks to complete it, but again, it's kind of hard to say. It just depends on how much do you already know, how much exposure do you already have to nutrition, coaching, and the problems surrounding people, barriers to good health and nutrition. Kind of just depends already how good of a grasp do you have on that. That's going to determine how long it's going to take you. So I did it 4 weeks after work. I was working 40 to 70 hours a week at the time, and just a couple hours, an hour, 2 hours at night, and 4 weeks, that's what it took me. So I wasn't really hurrying. I was just kind of doing it at my leisure, but at the same time, I have been exposed to almost all of this information multiple times before, so nothing was really new or profound to me throughout the course. It just wasn't new. I'd heard almost probably 95% of it I'd already heard before at least once. So I mean, if you haven't heard it before, it's going to take you longer. And if maybe you've got more experience than I do, it goes even faster. You could, if you really just sat down and did it, and you know what you're doing, might only take you, maybe a week, 10 days, something like that, at the very fastest. If you've got nothing else to do. But if you're busy, I think you can expect at least a month, maybe more. Okay, some things I really liked about this program were that they kind of go over everything surrounding nutrition. So not only do they go through macronutrients, micronutrients, metabolism, they kind of cover all of that, but they go into psychology, coaching, motivational interviewing, nutrition labels, just a whole bunch of additional stuff that I think is really important. And again, depending on how much experience you have in coaching, some of this stuff maybe you already know, some of it will be useful to you. I've done a lot of one-on-one stuff with people, but even that being said, the motivational interviewing piece I thought was kind of really interesting. Gives you a little bit different ideas how to get people to, how you can work with someone to get to the root of their issue. So I really, really enjoyed that aspect. So now with that, I think is at the same point the greatest weakness of this course. So not only is it not legal through about half of the United States, just with the course alone, mind you, but it's also an overview. It's a broad overview of the entire field, the entire practice of nutrition. And nutrition is so deep and so complex, that it's just this broad overview. It's a starting place, or it's a refresher course. So you either need to have more planned, more in store for yourself when it comes to nutrition, or you need to already be well established and you just need a refresher course, like I said before, continuing education type of thing. But as far as just taking this course and being able to go out and help someone with their nutritional issues or their psychological issues, because nutrition, mind you, is mostly behavioral. Okay, the ins and outs of nutrition that's the smaller portion in my opinion, and the behavioral issues are definitely the larger piece. So this course just being a broad kind of sweep of 15, 20 different topics, I don't think this course is really suited to just kind of, you take the course, now you're ready to go conduct nutrition counseling. It's either a starting place or it's a refresher. That's where I'm kind of at on it. So maybe I'm wrong, maybe you think I'm wrong, but that's my opinion. So now, if you just want the information yourself, or you want some alternatives, here's what I think is kind of a better bang for your buck. And before I say this, I don't mean to say that college is everything. You don't need to go to college. You don't need a degree. But what I will say is that if you're gonna spend the $629 or whatever, I would actually recommend just going to a community college, or somewhere, maybe you got a cheap college where you live. I live in Utah, so college is really inexpensive here. And I would suggest just taking anatomy, physiology, chemistry, and of course nutrition 101, just the basics. And I think that is going to be a little bit more expensive, but I think that you'll learn 10 times more than what you will from this course. So if that's available to you and you just want it for the knowledge, I would definitely recommend that over the course. Now, unless you're already a personal trainer, you're some kind of coach, you own your own business where you do personal training, and you're trying to supplement that's different, because of course if you just take a couple of classes, like what are you going to tell your clients? Like, oh, I took anatomy class, that's not really reassuring, So I mean, if you can, ideally you want to take both, but if the certificate itself doesn't matter to you and you just want the knowledge, I think a better bang for your buck is just take one semester of those classes that I mentioned. Because some things in the course that kind of bothered me was there's an image of a molecule, and you're not allowed to use any of their course material. They state very, very precisely that you are not allowed to use any of their material for any purpose. So otherwise I'd show you a picture of what I mean, but they put a picture of a molecule and they give you like 2 sentences to describe that molecule. So my issue here is, if you don't know anything about chemistry, all you have is those 2 sentences. The picture is pretty much worthless. So to me it's kind of like, well, on the surface it looks like there's a lot here, because you're telling me some stuff about chemistry, you're showing me the picture, but there was no background information. There's absolutely no chemistry section, in this entire thing, which is crazy, because nutrition, the breakdown of nutrients, within the body, enzymes, all that stuff, is heavily concentrated in chemistry. So things like that just kind of bother me. You don't have any, there's no reference there. You have their 2 sentences to go off of, and that's it. Okay, so that's it for my review. Kind of short, sweet, to the point. If there's anything else you want to know, just feel free to leave a comment. I'll answer whatever you want to know. If I left something out, feel free to let me know as well. If you got a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it helps you decide. I'll see you on the next one.